Welcome back, people.
Welcome
It's
back. Here
another
we
episode of the
go.
Mindful CEO.
The third
Namaste.
eye is watching.
Oh God.
Namaste. If you have not seen the Curb Your Enthusiasm of Namaste, stop what you're doing
Yeah. I'll have to put.
and
Maybe
go.
I could put that in the show notes. There's a
Put
great.
that. It's our one of my. It's saved on my phone. It's one of my favorite clips of all
That's
time.
great.
It's excellent, and it's the very heart of Namaste, motherfucker. And it's
Oh
the
my
very
God.
heart of. We got to it because he started talking about woo-woo washing.
Yeah. Because I said I was gonna go watch Superman with my daughter, and you said Superman is woke, and I'm like, I
Superman is
like yoke.
woke as fuck.
I like
Superman
yo.
is so
I like woke, as long as it's real woke. And then I think we were like, what's not, and it was like, well,
not
there are
woke
people that
washing.
I
Woke
think,
washing.
like greenwashing, you're
Well,
like,
look, woke washing is actually a thing. Like
okay, yeah, well,
all
that's,
well, you think of all the uh, corporations that come out for Pride Week.
oh yeah, right,
That's woke
totally,
washing.
yeah,
That's all woke
yeah,
washing. They get
yeah,
two
yeah,
flying fucks about
yeah,
equality. They're just like, oh,
yeah,
we could sell more beer to gay people.
right,
Um,
yeah,
to the gays,
the gays, yeah,
the
right,
gays. um, Woke washing.
woke
And on the
washing,
other hand, don't look like gift horse in the mouth. I mean, like anyone who's at least spreading the news is good. But yeah, that's woke washing.
yeah,
I don't
right,
think
just like
Superman is
greenwashing is, oh,
right.
our product is good for the environment. You're like, well, I mean, is it though? I mean, you're like, anyway, so woo washing might be just next door to that, which is, similar thing like, oh, namaste, the light in me sees the light in you, it's that meme that I so resonate with where it says me, namaste, may love guide you, and then also me, fuck you for cutting me off, asshole. Like there's this
All right. So here's the thing about that. Okay, just I have a thought about that. Shocking that I would have a thought about that. Shocking, given that's the entire fucking point of this entire podcast is that you and
yeah,
I have random thoughts about the things we each say. But that um, the woo washing part of that isn't that you have those two thoughts.
yeah,
It's not that you're namaste,
right,
authentically namaste when you are, and authentically get the fuck out of my way. Everyone else
yeah,
drives like an idiot.
yeah,
It's it's the pretense that you're not
right.
get the fuck out of my way.
Right. It's pretending that that you are enlightened and other, swearing is beneath you and road rage
Eh,
is, you're beyond that. And
Right. Which goes back to you got to watch this Larry David because
he's tapping his, poking his third eye.
don't do that. That's
Don't
disrespectful.
do that. That's disrespectful to your third eye.
Oh, is it? No.
Oh
It's
God.
so good. It's so well done. We love Larry
But I think
David.
that's, I think, this is why, to this, to the social commentary around wokeness and people thinking wokeness is stupid, or people think, I think some of that just comes from those who sort of seem like they're on their high horse, on their high woke horse,
Yes.
and other people being like, shut the fuck up, like you're not better than me.
Right.
You're acting like you're better than me. You're talking down to me. You're looking down upon me from your woke high horse. And I think that creates a distaste for people. It's like, if it was delivered differently and not so pretentiously, I think people would be okay with a conversation about what you're learning and what enlightenment you're opening up to. But when you do it from a place of holier than thou, then people are like,
Right. Yeah, and not just so there's holier than thou, and then there's also trying to legislate how others think. Right? Are you thinking in the right words?
mhm,
And then what battles are you going to, the degree to which you need things to line up with,
yeah,
what your view of fairness is,
right,
and how quickly you need them to line up. Right? It's
yeah,
funny. I posted this one this morning. Let me just you'll like this meme. I think. I just forgot what it is, so I got to go back to say it exactly right because it's good. It's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. No, not there. Oh yeah, maybe here. Yeah. Uh, Hi, most annoying person you've ever encountered here. I noticed this post you wrote in 3 seconds doesn't line up with every experience I've ever had. This is extremely harmful to me, the main character of the universe.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's a little bit, there's the, that's the way,
Yeah.
woke occurs for people sometimes,
Right.
the it's a, a different version of PC, but and at the same time, calling Superman woke is what the fuck are you what are you saying, that being fair to people is woke now, that giving everyone an equal opportunity to participate is woke? Fine, I'm woke as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
that's no
Woke
problem.
AF, baby.
You call me woke anytime you want. And that's, if you want to keep playing with the words, which I know you do. Um,
Love to do that.
that's what meditation is. It's becoming woke. I mean,
Okay, so
literally waking up.
there's a transition here to sort of where another place we wanted to go.
Is something meaningful? What?
This is meaningful. But we're right now in the Mindful CEO Mastermind. We're in a series on intuition, really thinning the veil
Yeah.
and exploring what is intuition, why does it matter, what are the conditions for intuition, what are the things that get in the way of intuition, and one of the things we're looking at moving into the next episode of the series is my curiosity got me around so much of how we think about intuition is my experience of intuition. What conditions do I need so that I can thin the
Yeah.
veil for me, so that I can go on and be productive and build cathedrals and blah blah blah. But we don't often take that conversation and move it to a group conversation. Like, okay, but if I create conditions for my family or my team to thin the veil? Could I have agency to thin the veil for others if I created the conditions for that? That's interesting. And
Thing I hadn't heard in that before, Chris, that is,
yeah.
I think, super interesting about that, or is there are no others. There's a whole dynamic there that, thinning the veil, on the it goes back to that conversation about consciousness, either universal or personal.
Yeah.
We by default sort of see ourselves as the center of the universe, as the
Main character.
the main character. Like, I have my consciousness, you have your consciousness, you're over there,
Right.
I'm over here. My consciousness is discrete, right?
Yeah.
And thinning veil reveals the lack of um, clear lines.
Yeah.
So in a very woo woo way, deep into the woo woo woods we'd go.
Yep.
My thinning the veil is thinning the veil, period. Not just for me. There is no me in that veil thinning. I'm
Sure.
tapping into the universal consciousness, which is not quite where I mean, it's an aspect of what you're talking about. And what you're talking about is similar to, I put my team through the mindfulness training, and with the intention of creating conditions of mindfulness and safety and reflection and all the things that mindfulness
Yeah.
provides, to provide a different clearing for the team. And now every week we have Free Your Mind Fridays, and
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
do a little work with people about that.
Yeah. It's for me, it's I hear a both and in that. Both, if I thin the veil for myself, it has to then thin the veil for the whole because I'm a part of the whole. Like, right. So that's the whole part. Like,
Mhm.
I don't need to do it for others, because if I do it, that is the others, because there is no others. Like, we are all one. But the flip side of that, the paradox of that is that the possibilities for us in this dimension live in a conversation. This was, the advanced course 101 for me, or the landmark forum 101 for me, that there was a Socratic conversation, and I hear myself in your share at the microphone, and that opens up something for me. My having gotten opens, your having gotten opens something for me. And
Mhm.
that happened in the conversation. You don't just go home
Right.
and have a having gotten and don't share it with me. You share it with me and I
Right.
go, oh my God, I see something for myself.
Right. Right.
So similarly, we could be responsible for extending our own conditions of intuition to those in our orbit, those around us. And in doing so, increase the likelihood that others have an experience of a thinning of the veil.
Yeah. 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 It's that, I mean, look, a bodhisattva retreats from enlightenment to bring others.
Right.
there,
Yeah.
so there are no others, and there are an infinite number of others, right? All at the same time. It's that
Right.
paradox,
Yeah.
that,
Right.
and bodhisattva is someone who comes back to
Yeah.
create the pathway for others.
Yeah.
And so in the acknowledgement that there are others, um, in doing so, acknowledges that obviously individual life exists. And I think it's a connection to service. It comes up in the gratitude course, um,
Mm,
that the Buddhists don't have a ton to say about gratitude, where compared to the amount they have to say about generosity,
mhm.
that generosity really is the key to that, is the key to living a grateful life, is acting generously.
Mm,
When you act generously, you are acting from a space of, I have ample to give. There's plenty to be grateful for in that space.
yeah.
And every time we give, we're connected to gratitude, both in the gratitude of the recipient, but also the gratitude for having our gifts received as gifts.
Yeah.
Those are real experiences. And that's a really reliable source of gratitude, or real clear access to gratitude, is that you get enough attention off yourself to give generously. Um, so anything given
Mm,
generously is a path to gratitude, is direct shot. Um, and in that generosity, part of that conversation for generosity, and that conversational domain of generosity, is service.
yeah.
That's, generosity and service go hand in hand, or the same, you know, expressions of each other. Service is an expression of generosity, and generosity is an expression of service. Um,
Yeah.
and then being of service, I got, what it is to be of service is to create a condition in which others, it's an act of service to have others thin the veil. That's what I wanted to get to there. If you create those conditions in your life for others to thin the veil, for them to tap into intuition, for them to
Yeah.
find that kind of access, then that's an act of service.
Yeah. I like that. We used to have friends out of college that, you just walked in their home and you could just feel hospitality. It was just a
Mm.
different feeling. Whatever the conditions were, how they carried themselves, who they were being, their home, how they cared for their home. It was just a very distinct feeling. Like time slowed down. Um, you felt very safe and it felt very loving. Like it was a very unique space. And I could see something similar to that as you, um, maybe the conditions include generosity. I think that's interesting. Like maybe we could go there next, but um I like this idea that the space we hold, the space has a thinner veil. So when you step into the space, this is why you go to a retreat, a silent retreat or whatever retreat, and you step into a space, and you're like, whoa, there's conditions are here to thin that veil, reduce that noise. Yeah, I like that. I just don't, I mean, in the context of CEO-ness, I don't know that I think the typical rhythm and conditions are go, 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 not, and then I'll leave work and I'll come home
Right.
and sit on the cushion. Oh, let me now thin the veil at home. But in the middle of work and my team, it's like go, go, go. We don't think about,
And at best, what our attention in that world is on having our team be productive,
Yeah.
have them be, yeah, elevate their performance in some way.
Right.
But it's not always or not usually
Uh-huh.
designed to have them tap into their own intuition,
Right.
which it sort of leads us right into that conversation for aligned action,
Uh-huh.
you
Right.
know, as a way of elevating performance. Orders of magnitude is my new thing, not
Orders of
exponentially.
magnitude.
Yes, orders of magnitude. I like that. Um, yeah, because that's what I've been going through is huge quantum leaps in performance
Mm.
out of, and I was looking at the source of it because I am committed that the only thing that produces result is action.
Yeah.
That you don't just sit on the cushion and money comes from the sky. That's
Yeah.
not the way that works, as far as I can tell. Um, but some actions are more effective than others, not but, and
Yeah.
some actions that no one would argue with that. And where do the most effective actions come from? And can you get, 10 in from one out? Can you get orders of magnitude return on actions?
Yeah.
And I think anyone would be able to say that of course you could. It's not one for one because there are plenty of times where you put 10 in and you get one out. I
Right.
mean, just look at uh, what do we used to call that? Operating states. There was a set of distinctions that uh, Warner created around one's performance. That when you're bringing something into existence, you're in formulation,
Uh-huh.
and, and I forget the various states, but the beginning in formulation, you're just putting 10 in to get one out. You could say this podcast is 10 in and one out.
Yeah.
For us, we put in all the time. It's not
Uh-huh.
arduous. It's not, that's a whole
Yeah.
different thing. But
Yeah.
in terms of the return, any kind of measurable return on it, it's
Yeah.
negligible. There's a lot of
Right.
energy going
Right.
in and very little energy coming out.
Right.
Um, uh, so we're just recording this to let you know, step it up, people. If you're listening, step it the fuck up.
Side note, let me just on that, we have 110 episodes under our belt.
Here you go.
110 to 1. It's not just 10 in, it's 110
Right.
in.
110 in and
Yeah.
10 out.
And 10 out. There you go. Yeah.
For the tens of listeners.
That's right.
Uh, but yeah, so I mean, so operating states move that way to momentum,
Yeah.
to a breakthrough where you are, where you move through those operating states and you get to put one in and get 10 out,
Right. Yeah. Right.
and
It's good.
that's that would be the advantage of uh,
Yeah.
thinning the veil for your team, training
Yeah.
your team in creating, these kind of mindful practices, mindful
Right.
habits,
Yeah.
where they
Right.
can tap into their own intuition,
Right.
find their own aligned action.
Did you see years ago when my kids were little, there was Monsters Inc. Did you ever watch Monsters Inc.?
Of course.
Um, and the bottom line of that being, they use scream energy to power their world until they realized that laughing produced 10x more energy than screams, and it just changed their world and their whole operating system for how they were going to generate energy. And I'm curious, based on something you said earlier. We tend to think in a CEO-ness, we think we want our teams to be productive, produce, get into action, be accountable. There's a lot of language in the world of production, which is to me analogous to the scream energy. I wonder
Yeah.
what you think about what if generosity, what if the energy was totally geared around generosity? Would that generate performance, even though it doesn't seem like a direct correlation? Like if everybody was just out there cultivating generosity, would we have orders of magnitude in our, would we put one in and get 10 out?
It's a really great place to look. First of all, any reference to Pixar, we're down with. Okay, so just
Yeah.
fucking spot on. And yeah, that's great. Generosity as an access to, yeah, I think again, so again, it gets back into this bucket that we're calling aligned action, or that I started calling aligned action.
Right. Right.
And I think in that bucket is for sure generosity shows up in the bucket of aligned action. Actions that are consistent with you giving of yourself
Yeah.
are, I mean, if you're authentically giving of yourself, if it really is generosity, if it's not a burden,
Yeah.
you're not, you know, yeah, if it's not a burden,
Yeah.
if you're actually doing it from a generous heart, those are enlivening. That's, when people think that they're being a contribution, when they have the experience of contributing to others,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a stretch to say they overperform.
Especially in a world where, let's put it in a real estate context, since that's a background you and I share. If in a sea of agents who have a database of 300 people and a farm, a geographic farm, whatever, most agents are sort of having a similar approach. Come list your house with me, come to my open house, search all almost listings. It's very direct correlation to this is what I sell, so this is what I talk about. But for an agent who's very generous with their sphere of influence and their farm, they're out totally out of contribution. It doesn't even need to have and by the way, who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? It's just
Mhm.
contribution.
Right. Well, that's
That,
the whole Buffini.
yeah, right.
That's,
Like there's the whole top of mind awareness now shifts from you're an agent to you're a person I really like. You're a person I really like. I want other people in my life to know you because you're a person I really like.
well, let's get Michael Minner back on the show. I mean, that was, right. That's
Yeah, right.
the Gen. That's his whole thing,
Generosity, love and action. Yeah,
right? Yeah,
that's
he
right.
would have no question about
Yeah,
that model.
right.
And yeah, that's an interesting take for Michael too. I like that.
I was
Um,
watching a new agent in Spokane. He's been kind of frustrated with performance, and in the last month or two, all he's been posting about are cool people he's met at networking events. It's only about them. He doesn't talk about real estate.
that's
His
awesome.
engagement's gone up, his referrals are going up, but it's
It has
all
to
in
be
generosity of the people he loves meeting.
brilliant. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a really that's aligned action. I would call that
Mm,
aligned action. That's a,
mm,
you know, assuming he's in touch with, which I would assume, and I do assume
yeah,
he's in touch with what makes him happy.
yeah.
And one of the things that makes him happy is
Mhm.
uh, connecting with people and
Yep.
boosting people up.
Yep.
Because otherwise, it's greenwashing, it's woke
Woo
washing,
woo washing,
it's gen
woke
washing,
washing.
right?
What kind of washing was the last one you said?
Generosity washing.
It's generosity washing.
It is. Well, there's that whole generosity washing, like
Right, right,
giving in order to
right.
say you
Yeah.
gave, which is really doesn't. It's not the same thing as aligned
Yeah.
action. And aligned
Right.
action, while maybe not directly connected to what it is you're doing, he's
Yeah.
talking about the dry cleaner isn't directly connected in any way, shape, or form to real estate,
Right.
but it's
Right.
an authentic expression of what he's up to. And that was always your thing with leads you love.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
find what makes you happy
Yeah.
and talk about that.
Yep.
Find your tribe. Goes back to that whole
Right.
that's all in this bucket of aligned
And
action.
it's counterintuitive. Like I don't know how many years I shared those thoughts with realtors, but it was like thick walls. It wasn't getting through because it's so counterintuitive that I'm going to talk about something else that isn't the thing I sell, and somehow that's going to come back to me.
Right.
That's laughing energy compared to scream energy. Like
Yeah.
my whole world has been, I grew up in a world where it's scream energy is what we do to make money. You're like, no, it's not screaming anymore. It's laughing. You're like, wait, what?
That's right. And that's the whole thing about doing more dials. That it's interesting. I was sharing this with someone the other day, where the living a grateful life came from,
Mm,
with the path to that. And part of that path was a inquiry I was in because I had been leading Level Up real estate training, and where Christine and I had put together a bunch of stuff that we know works for us, landmark technology, bold, whole bunch of different,
yep.
you know, conversations, things that we've learned over the years that work for performance. And we put them together and we found that they made no difference. Like we just could not crack the code on having people increase their performance. And we did it for 2 years, and it was fine. I mean, people liked it. It was good. It wasn't detrimental in any way. But it didn't have people sell more houses. Didn't have them produce at
Yep.
any higher level. So they were, by the metrics we were going for, they were failures. And
Mm,
um, when I looked at what we were doing, the only thing I could see that would make a difference was having them dial more, talk to more people.
yeah.
If they're not there because they weren't talking to enough people. That's the way that looked.
Right.
And this is a little bit like when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
When all you have is hustle and
Yeah.
grind, that's the answer for it all. You're not hustling hard enough. You're
Right.
not doing enough. You have to do more. That's
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
and I would offer that to anyone who's got that as a fallback is I'm not doing enough.
Mm, mm,
I have to do more.
yeah.
That's a signal that all you have is a hammer.
Mm, mm,
If
mm.
that's the only answer you have, that's clearly the only tool you have. That's all you got. So, and I wasn't willing to run a program where I had people dial more
Yeah.
as an answer, right? I was like, no, they could do bold.
Right.
For those of you that don't know, bold is a training Keller Williams puts on where you dial a shit ton, and it
Yeah.
works. It's fabulous training. It's no diss to bold, but my point was, someone's already got that market. Someone's already doing that. I don't
Yeah.
need to train them in that. Someone does that as, when I bake bread, I don't make bread that I could buy.
Yeah.
If I can buy it, I'm just not. If I can't make it better than I could buy
Right.
it,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
Um, and so I just wasn't willing to do that. So that got me looking down the road of, well, what is it that I do? What's my calling? What's my
Mm,
expression? And what is it that I can provide people that's not offered by someone else? They can't do. What can I make better? And I had concurrently, accidentally, if you want to call it that, but really just guided hand, Michael Singer guiding hand,
invisible hand.
invisible hand. God, when you say that, all I think of is the Police, Invisible Touch, which is really not what we're talking about.
No.
Uh, yeah, visible hand, but at the same time, I was getting certified as a mindfulness instructor because I thought, okay, well, mindfulness, gratitude, mindfulness, meditation definitely work. Let me see if they can work for me. And if they do, then great, I can train people. And I started to get enough results for myself that I thought, okay, this is a piece that I'd like to get certified in so I could train my team in it. That
Yeah.
was the impetus of getting certified as a mindfulness instructor. And then I had that breakthrough with where I lost my worry. I gave up worry.
Mm,
And I thought, okay, well, I have to share this.
yeah.
I have to make this available. If I can live a life where I'm no longer worried,
Yeah. Right.
anything's possible for people. So I will
Mm,
create, and that's, was the beginning of that. And then this year we put the team through it, and 160% increase in sales out of no more dialing. I mean, it's got to say that right. No increase in dialing.
Yeah.
Not they don't dial at all.
Right.
But that wasn't the access. The access wasn't grind hard. The access was slow the fuck down and
Yeah.
pick your true north and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
everything that you do lined up with that aligned action.
Aligned action. Right. Yeah.
Aligned action matters, not just action. Aligned action. Is it consistent with what makes your heart happy? Is it
Yeah.
part of your calling? Is it something that you is it going to develop you to be the kind of person you aspire to be? Those are the kinds of questions I think you want to be asking around the actions that you're taking. What is it that's going to develop me to be the person that I would be proud of on my deathbed to be?
Right.
Which is a heavy question to ask. But if you're not asking that question, then you're just fucking dialing and just tell the truth that you're just grinding it out. And
Yep.
that's okay, good for you. I mean, if that's good for you, then good for you,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if that's not good for you, then ask the question, what is it going to develop me into being the person that I would be proud to be on my deathbed? And then if you take those actions, you will be shocked at the results that show up.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. It's good, man.
Yeah, I think you could put a pin in that.
My third eye thanks you.
Mm. I noticed you didn't namaste.
I see you. Yeah. Namaste. Thank you. The wokeness in me sees the wokeness in
Yeah,
you.
I woke up to you. Yeah, yes. Let's put a pin in that, and then I think that would be a great bucket to explore in the mastermind. Is this world of
Yeah.
aligned action and what all goes into aligned action? It'd be worth
Yeah.
exploring.
Yeah. Those of you who are so jealous, you have big FOMO right now of the conversations we're having in the Mindful CEO Mastermind. You can apply for that if you go through the free 9-week course that Aaron hosts called How to Live a Grateful Life in a Fucked Up World. Or Aaron, what's the realtor one?
How to live a grateful life in a fucked up industry.
Hey,
Hey,
and yeah, I'll put the links for both of those in the show notes, so you guys can just click the link and go sign up for those.
yep.
And then when it's over, there's an invitation to apply for the Mindful CEO Mastermind. So those are great conversations. I do believe, Aaron, that the more of us that are inquiring into these spaces, the more conditions we're putting out for those in our orbit.
Totally.
And that's how the groundswell grows. That's how the ripple ripples.
Yes. Ripple, ripple, baby.
Ripple, 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 ripple. All right, friends, take care. Have a great one. See you. Peace.